the terminology of Jinn and how they work, right? But when I was in that life, like we call them, they call them by different names, you know, spirits, saints, demons. A lot of people call them demons, you know, straight out what they are, you know, like they know that they're making deals with the devil at the end of the day. They understand that, but some people just like they don't really understand what the terminology of jinn is, because now we know as Muslims we know that there's two creations, right? Us as humans and the jinn kind. But they just believe that the jinn is just like that them. Well, you could say it that way. It's like they're just demonic beings, you know. Some people don't see them that way. Some people think that that they help. That's when we get involved into all these saints that we see here with the cartels, because every specific leader has a certain saint that he worships and he's loyal to. But at the end of the day, we know that those are jinns, you know.
Yeah.
That's insane, bro.
SubhanAllah. So how do they see it? Do they actually see it as saints, as people who are helping and aiding them, or is that just like a
Um,
mask?
to my personal experience, like when I started getting like when I started meeting all these people, you know, like Hitman and all these, like you would see that they would carry a talisman, you know. Uh, the one that's most famous with sicarios is the death, the supposedly holy death. It has nothing holy, right? But that's the one that really has influence over everyone, almost everyone. You would see other type of saints like Saint Judah. In Spanish, they call him as San Judas Tadeo. He's a really he's a he's someone important for these people, you know, these cartel members. But yeah, I think it's not the connection, like them actually having experiences like the ones that we've seen and the ones that I've been able to experience now that I'm a Muslim. It's more like they blindly follow these deities, right? They blindly follow these things, these jinns, without knowing what they're doing. They're asking favors. They're putting special treats to them. In some cases, like they'll even put a life. You know, they'll promise a life towards them, and for them to fulfill their wishes. And I've seen that it does happen, bro. But it always has a really bad ending to that story.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've seen.
Mm.
SubhanAllah. And that's exactly what is taught in Islam. There's actually a story of I forget the name, but it was a Jewish scholar. And subhanallah, I'm gonna make the long story very short. He basically had to take care of these three guys' sister. So he started very slowly, you know, leaving food at her door. Eventually he went inside. He ended up committing zina with her. He ended up murdering her and the baby, burying them. And then Shaitan came to him at the end when he's being dragged away and like being brought to be put to death. And he's like, I'm Shaitan. I'm the one who put you in this. I'm the only one who can get you out. If you want me to save you from this, you have to pray to me, and then I'll save you from it. He ended up praying to Satan, and then Satan left, and the man was killed on the spot. And that's the essence of people who deal with the jinn. They do these nasty things, these horrific rituals. They make these promises, and they live a disgusting life. And all the time, it ends up in this way.
I've heard a lot of like what you're saying right now. I heard a lot, man. Like I'm gonna give you an example. I met this guy that he had a bunch of hotels, right? And he was paying money to the cartels. So basically, the cartels they go to your business and they tell you like, hey, you're gonna have to pay this much money, and basically they'll give you like a monthly fee, and if you pay it, we're gonna protect you. If not, we'll start closing your businesses, right? But this guy had like everybody knew in town that he had a pact with the devil, that he had sacrificed his kids. He had given his kids in sacrifice for all his riches, you know. And at the end, what basically happened to him was he was taken by the cartels and he was killed because they wanted to get more money from him. He couldn't get the money. The people that were with him weren't loyal to him, and they rather had him killed than help him out, or try to sell what he had to save his life. They basically left him alone. Um, Now, there's something really crazy, bro. Like I used to listen to a lot of music, right? Mexican music. I don't know if you guys are familiarized with corridos. You know, corridos are basically the narco music. What narcos here, right? And in all these songs, like There's always a specific part where they talk about I sold myself to the devil, and we hear this in pop music as well, you know. But that's how you notice that it's in all the like almost all the music industry goes back to the same thing. And in Spanish, like you hear this like in Mexican music, like that they're at the end and they sell themselves to the devil, and now that the devil has given them everything. Um, a couple of times, like I'm gonna be honest with you guys, right? Before I was an ignorant into what I was doing, but I would always hear stories like this cave. They call this cave the cave of the devil, and if you go there at the middle of the night, like you can go in and you can call upon the devil, and the devil will show up, and you'll make a deal with him, and you'll come out with money and all this, right? A couple times we like just messing around. Me and some friends we would go and we like let's see if he comes out. He never came out, you know. And now I know why, because Allah was taking care of me. He never let me. He never let me have that type of connection with Satan, right? So yeah, I definitely that's something that's very famous here in Mexico. Everywhere you go, you hear this like that people have gone into that lifestyle and they ended up doing pacts with the devil. But it's like everything. There's nothing good out of that, you know. And at the end, it's gonna pay its price. That's your life.
Subhanallah.
So while you were in that jahiliyyah, right? In the cartel, did you notice any type of inner fitra feeling from you that what's going on here isn't really right? It's not what it should be, or was it more like it was just everyone was doing it? It was cloudy.
No, because first, like I said, I was an atheist, right? I didn't really believe in anything. Like I was like, yeah, right. But there is, you know. That's when your fitra comes in. You actually you have to sit down and say, all right, if evil exists, if all these things exist, then there should be something good. Because at the end, like you how can I say this? You notice where all those roads are ending up. You know how all these people end up, and people that pray to these people, that pray to these jinns, they know, like they know, bro. Like they're conscious of what's gonna happen. They're gonna help them out for quite some time, but at the end of the day, they're gonna leave them alone. Yeah. So
SubhanAllah. So the question that pops into my head next is we hear a lot about people who interact with jinn and who use them and who are used by the jinn. Do you have any groups of Muslims that are doing ruqya and working against this stuff, dealing with exorcisms and black magic and or anything like that?
no, not at the moment.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, basically we're I have some brothers that they're with this going on with the Dean show and everything. Like they've got in contact with me and they're helping me out, you know. But basically, I had to learn like by myself, you know, by the guidance of Allah and to see by the experiences that I was seeing, right? The experiences that I was having. Like sometimes I would hear people whistle inside my house, you know. I would be doing something and I would hear whistles or what we were hearing, what Angel was hearing in the last show, the psst, psst, you know, or people knocking on the window, people walking around. You feel that you get that evil vibe. And when I was in the cartels, I didn't.